Welcome back to Teknobalta. Today we are diving deep into a persistent issue affecting competitive gamers. We at Teknobalta analyzed a specific case where the FACEIT Anti-Cheat reports that secure boot is disabled. This happens even when the user has already enabled the setting within the BIOS. Specifically, we are looking at the MSI Z390 Tomahawk motherboard, but this applies to most MSI platforms. The error message usually reads, "Warning, secure boot is not working properly." This prevents you from launching the game and joining the competitive queue. Let us start with the root cause analysis to understand why this mismatch occurs. Secure boot relies on a chain of trust established by cryptographic keys. These keys include the platform key, or PK, and the key exchange key, or KEK. Sometimes, the default factory settings do not initialize these keys correctly for third-party drivers. FACEIT uses a kernel-level driver that strictly validates the UEFI state. If the BIOS reports secure boot is on, but the keys are in a setup mode, the driver rejects it. This is why a simple toggle from off to on often fails to solve the problem. We need to force the BIOS to reevaluate the execution policy for the bootloader. Before we proceed to the BIOS, let us perform some essential pre-checks in Windows. Press the Windows key and R on your keyboard to open the Run dialog. Type MSINFO32 and hit Enter to open System Information. Look for the BIOS mode entry in the list. It must say UEFI. If it says Legacy, secure boot will never work. Next, look for the secure boot state. It likely says off or unsupported right now. Also, ensure that TPM.msc is active by typing TPM.msc in the Run dialog. If everything is ready, we are going to restart the computer and enter the BIOS. Repeatedly tap the Delete key as the system boots up to enter the MSI click BIOS. Once inside, press F7 to switch to Advanced mode if you are in Easy mode. Now, follow our path carefully. Navigate to the Settings menu on the left. From Settings, select the Advanced submenu. Look for Windows OS Configuration and enter that section. Here, make sure the BIOS UEFI/CSM mode is set to UEFI. If it was on CSM, change it to UEFI now. This is critical. Now, click on the Secure Boot option. You will see Secure Boot is currently set to Enabled, but the error persists. Change the Secure Boot mode from Standard to Custom. When you switch to Custom, a warning might appear about the keys. Accept it. Now, look for a new menu called Image Execution Policy. Enter the Image Execution Policy menu to see the granular control settings. Find the option labeled Removable Media. Change this setting to allow execute. This allows the FACEIT driver to verify the boot environment without being blocked by strict defaults. We also recommend checking the key management section while you are here. If it says the keys are not installed, select Enroll all factory default keys. This ensures the database of trusted signatures is fully populated. Now, press F10 on your keyboard to save and exit. Confirm the changes. The system will now reboot into Windows. Once Windows loads, we need to verify the fix. Open MSINFO32 again using the Run command. Check the Secure Boot state. It should now say On. Now, open the FACEIT Anti-Cheat client. The warning message should be gone, and the shield icon should turn blue. If you still encounter issues, we have some alternative methods to explore. Sometimes, a BIOS update is required for the Z390 Tomahawk to support modern security protocols. Check the MSI support website for the latest firmware version. Another potential issue is the disk partition style. Secure boot requires the GPT partition style, not MBR. You can check this in Disk Management by right-clicking your boot drive and selecting Properties. Under the Volumes tab, look for Partition Style. If it says Master Boot Record, you must convert it to GPT using the MBR2 GPT tool. We at Teknobalta advise caution when converting partitions, so always back up your data. Let us move to advanced optimization for your gaming setup. Ensure that Fast Boot is disabled in the BIOS. Fast Boot can sometimes skip the initialization of certain security modules. Also, make sure your Windows 10 or 11 is fully updated. Security patches often include updates for the Secure Boot Revocation list. If you are using an older GPU, it might not have a UEFI-compliant vBIOS. This would prevent the system from booting in UEFI mode with Secure Boot enabled. You can use a tool like GPU-Z to check if your card supports UEFI. Look for the UEFI checkbox in the main interface of GPU-Z. If it is unchecked, you may need a firmware update for your graphics card. Now, let us summarize the technical steps we took today. We switched the BIOS to UEFI mode and disabled CSM. We changed Secure Boot to Custom Mode to unlock advanced policies. We set the image execution policy for removable media to allow execute. We ensured that the factory default keys were enrolled. These steps resolve the communication gap between the hardware and the FACEIT Anti-Cheat. Technical stability is the foundation of competitive gaming. By following this guide, you have secured your system while maintaining compatibility. Remember that every BIOS update might reset these settings. If the error returns after an update, simply repeat this process. We at Teknobalta are committed to solving these complex hardware-software conflicts. Your hardware is powerful, but it needs the right configuration to shine. Don't let software warnings hold you back from the server. If you found this technical breakdown helpful, let us know in the comments. We monitor all hardware trends to provide you with the most accurate solutions. This concludes our deep dive into the MSI Secure Boot Fix. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more expert troubleshooting and hardware guides. Stay technical, stay ahead. See you in the next one.